Having me here. This is a case that actually we had when we were doing it probably 4 or 5 years ago, where this was a routine patient, 30-year-old female who had severe mitral stenosis, had a very pliable valve, trivial MR, T didn't show any clot. We thought, okay, it's a run-of-the-mill PBMV. Took her up, and PBMV crossed the balloon. We thought we finished off the case in probably 5 to 7 minutes. The balloon crossed across the mitral valve. The gradients came down very well, and things seemed fine. So we were trying to retrieve the balloon and slenderize the balloon. Started getting the balloon out, and this is what it is. The soft part of the LA wire is actually broken, and it's in the right atrium. And this was, I think, the first LA wire breakage we had in our lab, and wondering what to do. We took in a JR guiding there, and this is what it was. I'm sorry, the pictures are not very good. This is the old lab which we had, and took in a snare along with that, and tried retrieving it. Once we actually held it, but the resistance that we had when we were pulling it back, we thought that we had actually plucked probably a couple of trabeculae, and that's the reason we actually had to release it back there. And multiple attempts we needed to do to actually get it there. It is a floppy part of the LA wire, so it was actually very flimsy, and it was not coming in. It was actually, there was TR also there, so it was actually swirling in the right atrium, if you can see that. This made it a bit difficult for us to actually get it out. We were actually stressed out whether it will actually go into the right ventricle and then get embolized into the pulmonary artery as well. So finally we could actually catch it and slowly actually bring it back. We were hoping that it doesn't break on the way as well. So that's how we got it back. Now we had another case. I'm sorry we don't have the slides of that, because we actually the lab had a crash down then and we lost the images. We had the same kind of thing, but a larger amount of LA wire actually that broke in the left atrium itself. That was actually before we could actually complete the procedure. Luckily, part of it, we had a little access in the left after the puncture, so we actually threaded the Mullins sheath over the thing, and then actually pushed in the sheath and then removed the dilator. Took in a snare, and actually it took much more time than this to actually get this out, but then we could actually snare it and get it across. Basically, I think we use a lot of G material, so I think we need, though PBMV being a very gratifying procedure, we need to be very careful with the hardware that we use. We need to care about the hardware very well, because when we send it for gassing, when we reuse it, I think we need to be very sure that we examine the material, especially the left atrial wire and the balloon. It's better we actually inflate the balloon outside on the table itself to see how it is inflating and deflating. There are a lot of times that actually it inflates and then we are not able to deflate it. And similarly the wire as well. There are some small kinks in the wire that actually when we go through the needle, then it actually through the balloon actually gets stuck there, and you're actually stuck with everything there. And that's one thing that we need to do. And third thing is, I think we shouldn't be panicking. It's very important that we keep our calm. If possible, there is any means where we can actually dilate the mitral valve. It's very good to actually finish off things. This is more so when we have pericardial effusion. We generally tend to be very panicky when we have a pericardial effusion. We have everything in place. We are in the left atrium, and the balloon is in the left atrium, but then the pressure starts dropping. We tend to be very panicked about the pericardial tapping and all that. It's extremely important that if we can finish off the procedure and finish off a mitral valvotomy there, and then we can pump in fluids. So simultaneously, if somebody can do a pericardiocentesis and also do the dilatation, it gives you time, because that actually you can pump in more fluids, and it also gives you time for draining the fluid as well, because once you're there and you try to pump in fluids, pericardial effusion is there, the patient also may go into pulmonary edema. That becomes an issue. So it's always important that there is somebody simultaneously along with you, operate along with a colleague, see to it that simultaneously things are done. Thank you.
Thank you, Anuj. It's open for discussion. Anybody experienced a similar thing, because a lot of G material we use nowadays. So I think this, in fact, the last year somewhere I think we saw a similar thing earlier where they couldn't retrieve. I think they have to send for surgery. The second option as a...
Actually, at that point, if there is no pericardial effusion, I think adequate heparinization is very important at that point in time. Otherwise, that could create a lot of mess also.
Suppose before BMV was done, before inflation of the valve, it happens, then what is your strategy?
I would still probably retrieve the balloon and then probably redo the PBMV. If there is no pericardial effusion as such. If you are not able to retrieve, there is no other option but to send the patient for surgery. Another issue with the reused material is the balloon not getting deflated. We inflate and then actually the balloon doesn't get deflated. The trick there is actually we need to cut the distal end of the balloon, and there is another port in the balloon there which you take the opposite end of the distal end of the LA wire, retrogradely pass it there, that goes, punctures the balloon. But the hitch there is basically if you have air within the balloon, that's when you are actually preparing the balloon, if there are air bubbles in the balloon, then there is a chance of air embolization. That actually we had twice, but both the times we were successful because we are very meticulous in seeing that there is no air in the balloon. So otherwise we would have had a problem.
Both the wires were from the same company or different companies? Acura, Inouye set?
Sorry, I didn't get you.
Both the wires were from the same company?
No, actually, see what happens is once you've passed in, there is no LA wire there. You have only the mitral balloon there. Your balloon is not deflated. You're not able to pull it out. So what you do is, there is a Y port at the distal end, right? You cut that and then pass the distal end of the LA, the stiffer part of the LA wire, through one of the port. There is an extra port there which actually ends in the balloon. So you pass it through that, it punctures the balloon.
I'm asking whether the wires were from the same company, of the same set, the Zolby wire.
I can't hear you actually.
The wire were from the same company, the Zolby wire, Acura set or the Inouye set or the Lifetech one? Were the wires from the same company? Like the...
Without mic is better.
No, actually, yeah. No, the wires are from Acura only, not the Inouye. Both the wires, yes. Yes. We generally use only Acura in our lab.
Hello. Add on, in the Inouye set, we get a booklet.
It's better you talk without the mic, I can't hear you. Right. No, that is with Inouye. Problem is Acura doesn't have that extra. See, Inouye has 2 layers. So once you've done a PBMV, you have to squeeze out that blood out of that port is there. But in Acura, there is only a single layer. Yeah.